Yes, we're live now. Hello, everyone. Trust you well. I'm so excited to be on this time around with my good friend, Dan. Dan is speaking from Mexico, and this is Leadership Talk with Adegoke. This is the 42nd edition, the podcast Leadership Talk with Adegoke. On this session, we're going to be looking at leadership and excellence. Leadership and excellence. A leadership talk at Adegoke is had several sessions on purpose, on innovation, on marriage, fatherhood, on self-management, listening. So this session promises to be awesome. Awesome. Wow. How's Mexico? How's Mexico, Dan?
We thought we were going to have a hurricane this week and it didn't come, so we thank God.
Wow. 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 Amazing. Amazing. Well, it's humid here in Nigeria. And yeah, so it's supposed to be rainy season, but it's not really, um, you know,
I was actually confused when you said you were going back now. I was like, isn't this because I spent a lot of time in Sierra Leone, just a few countries over, and this is normally rainy season. This is when everyone
yeah,
runs away to Europe.
yeah, yeah. This is humid.
Mhm.
So Dan, tell us,
Mhm.
who is Dan?
So, honestly, I'm just a guy that loves to learn, loves to share what he learns, been through many experiences in my life, and I love the opportunity to allow my experiences to be an opportunity for other people to learn from. As I continue now to try my best to learn experiences the less painful way through other people's
Yeah,
experience, through mentorship and having the right mentors and guides and coaches and leaders in my life. I write books around the things I learn and continue to experience. I have my own podcast. I do speaking. I write for magazines like Entrepreneur Magazine and some other magazines. But what this all really is about is just adding more beautifully to the world on a regular
wow,
basis. That's what I'm really
wow.
all about.
So what's your background? What's your background in?
So, my background in terms of heritage or my
No, in
background
terms of
in.
education or work.
Yeah. So, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've had two jobs in my life. One, when I
Wow,
was 15 years old, I worked in a cinema for a summer or two. Um, when I was 20, I want to say 26, 27, I worked in a call center for 6 months when I was building up another business. But ultimately, I've always really worked for myself. I've never had
wow,
a corporate career or worked in a corporate environment.
wow, wow. That's amazing. I've been an entrepreneur as well for 20 years,
Hmm.
and been showing up. It's been
Hmm.
a privilege because
Hmm.
it brings out the best in you. Being
Yeah,
an entrepreneur, yeah.
and a lot of stress also, but we do our best.
No, I thought you were not going to share that secret.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, entrepreneurship has been glorified by a few people. They talk about, oh, entrepreneurship this, entrepreneurship that, but really, entrepreneurship is not an easy road. I
Yeah.
actually speak about this a lot. Just stop job shaming, because I
Mm,
find that a lot of people, oh, I've got my day job. Be proud of your day job. There's nothing shameful about having a day job. What
yeah.
it's more about, I believe, is showing up, doing your best, showing up with
Yeah.
integrity and helping others and adding to the world. That's what I think is more important. Whether you do that through a career, whether you do that on a checkout counter, whether you do that pumping gasoline at a gas station, or whether you do it running a business. Ultimately, what's most important, I think, is integrity and showing up and adding to others.
Excellent. Excellent. So, how
Mm.
did you get into leadership then?
Leadership really came by accident, as entrepreneurship for me became at a deeper level. You
Okay.
then have employees, you then have people who are depending on you. Throughout my life, I've then been parts of other organizations, whether it's religious, spiritual groups that I'm in. I've just come off now a coaching call with a few dozen people. Leadership for me is those times when I've been blessed with the opportunity to lead the way for others, to
Awesome.
be at the vanguard for them. Um, but none of that's possible, I believe, unless we're leading within ourselves.
That's true. That's true. You
Mm.
can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
I believe leadership is pointing people in the direction that you want them to go, but not just pointing them, but also leading by example.
Yeah.
Inspiring the followership as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a daily job. You
Mm-hmm.
don't say you were a leader yesterday and now today you want to be a follower.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on raising the bar. Now, what's
Exactly.
the relationship between leadership and excellence?
I believe that leadership comes in different grades. Not all leadership is created equal.
Okay,
And the excellence is the upper echelons of leadership that we should all strive to.
okay,
Excellence isn't being perfect, it's not getting it right all the time. It's always giving your best and it's always being in integrity, always inspiring the best in the people that you're leading. That's what I think excellence is in leadership.
wow, wow. Now, excellence. Can you just describe what excellence is? What is excellence?
Excellence, like I said, it's doing your best.
Okay,
It's not perfection. I believe that perfection only exists with God. The rest of us are just
okay,
doing our best. But excellence is striving consistently towards doing and giving my best from a
okay.
place of integrity, from a place of service, from a place of love, and being gentle and compassionate with ourselves and with others when they fail to be perfect, which we'll all do because we're human.
Awesome, awesome. Now, how can a leader, lead with excellence? And what are some of the strategies that a leader can deploy?
Being in integrity and leading by example, like you said earlier. You said about
O-
pointing the way. I believe that we don't point the way with our fingers, we point the way with where we're planting our feet. Where we're
Yeah.
going is what's pointing the way. And when we're
Okay.
pointing the way with those qualities that I defined around excellence before, then we're encouraging and demonstrating to those under our charge to do and be the same. And that for me is what it's really all about.
Wow. The situations where a leader can start off being excellent,
Mm-hmm.
but you could have team members that are mediocre, and it affects
Mm-hmm.
the productivity of the leader. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the leader is faced with the challenge of whether he should drop the ball,
Mm-hmm.
whether to conform,
Mm-hmm.
or whether to confront. Can you
Mm-hmm.
speak to that?
Well, if a leader's leading people that are mediocre, then you as a leader are responsible for not picking people that are mediocre.
Wow.
At the end of the day, a leader who blames the mediocrity of the people that they've chosen to or who've allowed to be under their charge, that's passing the buck, I'm afraid. If the people under you are not meeting the objectives as a whole, as a leader, you're responsible for the entire organism, whether it's a
Excellent.
community group, whether it's a business, whether it's a
Absolutely.
community, whether it's a whatever it is, a family,
Yeah.
right? If you, as a leader, are allowing cancerous elements to be a part of it, then you are doing a disservice to the organism as a whole. It is your
Okay.
responsibility to lovingly and compassionately let them know that they're not aligned with what you're doing and give them the opportunity to be where they are aligned because there's a place for everybody, there's a lid for every part. And then to find the appropriate person who's going to add to your organism and to support the entire group, organization, team, what have you, moving to the next level.
Wow. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. If you're just joining us, I've been speaking with my friend Dan. Dan is an awesome, awesome gentleman. He's
Thank you,
speaking
sir.
far away from Mexico. He's showing up globally. He's an A-rated speaker, and we're looking at leadership and excellence on the podcast, Leadership Talk with Adegoke. This is the 42nd edition. Now, uh, can a leader just become excellent, or what's the process? I know, certain things need to happen for the leader
Mhm.
to, and excellence is not achieved overnight. Can a leader just become excellent? Because some people expect so much from a leader. Can you
Mhm.
speak to that? Yes.
Well, let's say this. So I'm 37 years old as of today. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't wake up this morning with the unique and quirky combination of characteristics that I have today. They
Yes.
came over time through experience, through
Yeah.
choices that I made, through the environments that I was in, through the people that I associated, from the books I was reading. Whether or not I'm excellent today is a result of what I've been doing up until today. It's a cumulative
Correct.
process.
Absolutely.
So, in order for a leader to qualify under the category of excellence, as we've just defined it and described it today, they have to be making cumulative efforts towards that endeavor.
Hmm.
They always say there's the 10-year overnight success. They look at Hollywood stars and say, oh, they were overnight success. A lot of them were playing in, crappy little theaters for years,
Yeah.
receiving no after no, giving up everything to drive across to Hollywood and all this kind of stuff and showing up. And that's where they ended up having that quote unquote overnight success. You
Wow.
know, I've got friends in different industries, whether it's in business, music, the arts, theater, film. They're putting in their work to get to where they want to be. If someone wants to be an excellent leader, then start today employing the characteristics consciously of conscious leadership, excellent leadership, and at some point you will achieve the status of excellence. But it's a matter of understanding that everything that we are today is a sum total of what we've been doing up until now. And what we're
Excellent.
going to be tomorrow starts with what we're
Correct.
doing today.
Hmm. Now, I just want you to speak to this. You lived in different continents. You've lived in
Mhm.
Africa. You lived in
Europe,
Europe.
I've lived in
You've also
Asia,
Asia.
Americas.
And, I want you to speak to the continents that you have lived in. Which one is
Mhm.
more excellent?
All of
The-
them have their own nuances.
Okay.
And within those continents, I mean, even look at Africa's 56 different countries, 56, I think it's 54, 56 different countries. E-
Okay.
Within each of those countries, you've got multiple different tribes, cultures, cultural identities, languages, traditions. My family's from Zimbabwe. There are two main tribal constituents in Zimbabwe, Ndebele and Shona. I happen to be in Ndebele. Shona culture and Ndebele culture, they're different cultures. They've got different roots to their culture. I've spent time in Sierra Leone over in West Africa. If you're Timini, if you're Creole, uh, again, different cultures, different nuances, different language, different traditions. When I've spent time in the Middle East, again, Arabic culture. Even within Arabic cultures, people talk about the black community like it's homogenous. It's not. There are different
Wow.
subsects with different ideas. So for me, every single one of these has got different opportunities and different expressions of excellence. But I would encourage people to move away from clumping continents, clumping countries, even clumping groups, because even within groups, people are different too, because they're all very different.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. You have a very diverse background, and you're also married to a Russian.
Yeah, that's a completely different, a completely
Wow.
different thing as well.
I just I look forward to seeing you physically.
Likewise.
I have a friend in Mexico. He's from Guadalajara.
Yeah, we might be there in 2 weeks. We might be going
Okay.
up to Guadalajara in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. He's an amazing fellow. He's a customer service guru as well. His
Oh,
name
yeah.
is Pepe Torre.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, what's the consequence? What's the challenge if a leader is not excellent? What does it do for the team?
Based on our definition, if the leader's not excellent, the team cannot be excellent
Okay.
because we can only, if our leader isn't striving towards these qualities, then how can the team
Hmm.
strive towards those qualities? If someone within the team steps up, then they're demonstrating leadership and they're the real leader.
Hmm.
Even if they're just the leader with themselves or the small group around them, they are the one that's demonstrating leadership. I mean, leadership isn't a title, it's a way of being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone can be the big boss, Johnny Big Socks, big boss. That doesn't mean that they're a leader.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Now, I just want to, share a story about myself. I started off with a very poor, start um, in primary school, in secondary school, and also in university. But things began to change as I learned more and as I became more aware and
Mhm.
as I took on more responsibilities. Now, I want you to use yourself as an example. How did you, because I see you doing so much globally, all over the place. What does it take, to, come out and add so much value? What do you require some form of discipline or ethic or habits?
I believe it starts with actually wanting to do it
Okay.
because when I first came onto this journey that I'm on now, I wasn't thinking about how much money I'm going to make or that I'm going to be on different stages, I'm going to be in different newspapers. That's not what it was for me. Is I want to touch as many lives as possible.
Wow.
In those early days, I was spending my own money flying around the world teaching my work. In those own days, I was paying for halls to come and teach my work and begging people to come and listen to what I had to say. There was no glory, there was no money in it, but I wanted it. I really was committed to serving people. And so when times got hard, when challenges arose, I had the gusto, I had the grit and the leverage over myself to keep going because I really wanted it. In life, we're always going to face challenges no matter what we're doing, whether it's a business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a fitness or health journey. If you don't want it, you're not going to do what's required of you to get past those hard times that are always going to come.
Wow. Wow.
So for me, it's really wanting it. I deeply am passionate and care and am committed to what I do. As a result, guess what? I do the work that's required of me to do it. If I didn't have that determination, I would have
Yeah.
given up a long time ago.
Wow. Wow. I was having a chat with on the episode Leadership on Purpose. If you'd like to listen to it, you can just go through past episodes. And a lady from Virginia in the USA, Karina
Mm-hmm.
Calhoun,
Mm-hmm.
she was speaking about purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That as a leader, if you found your purpose, you must be committed to your commitment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You must be committed to your commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Over the years, I found that even as an entrepreneur, how do you get into that excellence mode? Is by creating value. I have my courses on Udemy, world
Mm-hmm.
class customer service. I
Mm-hmm.
have selling in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I have a book on two books on Amazon, customer retention and experiential approach.
Mm-hmm.
I also have selling in crisis on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast is also adding value globally, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how we're able to connect. These things have, taken out so much from me, but I keep on improving. When I look back, this is the 42nd podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, and I started August 15th, 2020.
Wow.
Now this is July.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been times that I felt like, oh, maybe I should step back? Yes, there have been times
Mm-hmm.
like that, but I've been stretched. But once you get into that spirit of excellence is in you, you just want to strive and you keep on doing more,
Mm-hmm.
and you begin to attract like minds. I'm in the same space with you, and who knows the spin-offs that can come up from this.
Exactly.
People are watching, and
Mm-hmm.
the world is looking forward to listening and tapping into excellence. Nobody wants to hang around a mediocre person. My dad, yeah, my dad used to say that a failure is an orphan.
Mm-hmm.
But if you become successful, you have 1,000 friends, you have aunties.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Obama, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you look at Martin Luther King, you look at Biden now, everyone
Mm-hmm.
wants to be his friend. But
Mm-hmm.
Biden, he has had his shot at the presidency,
Mm-hmm.
more than once,
Mm-hmm.
and but it's showing up even at almost 80 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted you to speak to the journey of excellence. Is it something that one can get tired of being excellent?
You can get tired of being excellent if you're not committed to being excellent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But this is the thing: we're human. We're always going to get tired. It's whether you pause or you stop.
Okay.
If you ask any athlete, they never get to the end of the race without being tired. If they have, then they haven't been pushing themselves in order to win the race. But
Yeah.
when that tiredness kicks in, they go. I've done a lot of martial arts in my life, right? Combat
Wow.
combat sports. You know, round one, halfway through, you're going to be, the adrenaline's pumping, the heart's going. You want to put your hands down, but you're keeping your hands up. Or when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, someone's got you in a choke, you want to tap out. But no, if you really want to win, then you're going to find a way to maneuver out of that lock.
Hmm. Hmm.
We
Hmm.
all get tired, but do we stop in the face of being tired? Or do we pause, recommit ourselves, realign ourselves, and keep going.
Wow. Now, I just want to speak to you are an author, I believe.
Yes.
I just want to speak to what you've done over the years, just for the audience. Just, yeah,
Yeah.
those who are going to be listening to the replay. I just want you to speak to it so that we can get some more value from you.
Thank you. So one of the things I focus on is creating financial abundance. Okay, whether
Okay.
that's through entrepreneurship, through personal wealth creation, because I believe that when you understand how to consciously create wealth, you can
Yeah.
take those strategies and consciously create health, better relationships, purpose. Because it's the same, everything works the same way. It's just a matter of understanding the creative principles. But if I go out to create $1,000, for example, or a business that makes $100,000 a year, if I apply the strategy and it works, then I know it works. If I apply the strategy and it doesn't work, I know the strategy is no good. So I've got a tangible measuring stick for my capacity to create. That's number
Okay.
one. Number two, we live in a world where money is the easiest medium of exchange for what we want. There are very few things that money can't buy. This doesn't mean that money is the most important thing, but it's a very powerful tool for us to create what we want. If I want freedom, if I want to be able to go and eradicate homelessness, if I want to develop a support cure for cancer, if I've got money, I've got a resource that allows me to go and do that. So it's a very powerful tool.
So true. Yeah.
Yes. And another thing as well is that so many people are not doing what they want to do. They're not living their life on purpose. They're not able to be in dominion and leader in their own life because of stresses around not having the choice because they don't have money.
That's
So
true.
if we take the stress of money off the table, a lot of people won't be doing what they're doing right now. They'd want to be doing something else.
That's
And
right.
encourage the listeners, if you had infinite resources, would you be doing what you're doing now? I'd answer yes. And I'd hazard a guess that you, sir, are doing what you would love to do as well. Maybe with some extra frills, right? But you're doing what you want to do with your life. That's one of the powers of entrepreneurship, being able to
Yeah.
live life on our own terms. I live exactly where I want to live. Maybe I'd have a different home. I've had my eye on a different house here. But I travel first class or I travel private. I've got the clothes I want to wear. Nearly everything that I want, I can get. There are a few things that are just outside, but I'm continuing to grow into them.
Yeah.
So I teach around that, and I teach around living life on our own terms and recognizing that money is just a tool to be able to do that and teaching people how to create more of it. We've got people that have created millions of dollars with our work, hundreds of thousands, financial freedom. They're doing what they want with their life, but ultimately it's because they understand now how to create because we use money as a measuring stick, a guide
Yeah.
for our ability to
Wow.
do that.
Wow. So, do you have resources that our
Mhm.
listeners can tap into?
100%. If they go to my website, dreamwithdan.com, there'll
Okay.
be a free resource that will come up when they come to the website called How to Be a Harmonious Money Magnet. It's a video that I created that takes you through the core basics of what I'm speaking to in terms of how to create more wealth, that strategy. And then
Okay.
if they want to continue the journey, they can. But if they just start with applying that, even, they'll start to see some changes for sure.
Okay. Awesome. Now, if you just joined us, I'm speaking with Dan. Dan is an awesome gentleman.
Thank you,
He's
sir.
adding so much value. It's called the Dreamer CEO. Why are you called the Dreamer CEO?
So my hashtag is Dream with Your Eyes Open.
Okay. Wow.
And Dream with Your Eyes Open is about having big dreams, having big goals, having big ideas, but with your eyes open, taking some action, actually
Okay.
giving it life, not just enjoying it with, oh, that was a lovely dream. Wouldn't that be lovely? Oh, one day maybe. No, it's okay. This is what I'm going to do. What can I do today to bring it to life? Who can I connect with? Who can I serve? How can I add value to the world so that the world rewards me with what I'm seeking to create? And as my company is Dreamer HQ, my Dreamer headquarters. My website is Dream with Dan. I'm Dreamer CEO on all social media channels.
Awesome. 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 Dan, you're such a fascinating gentleman. You're a young guy. You're not
Thank you.
70 yet, but you have so much content and so much value.
Thank you, sir.
What strikes me is that Dan is intentional. Is living intentionally. Is adding value globally, and is making things work out for other people. So, which is good. Which is good. Now, Dan, who are your mentors as we come to a conclusion?
I've always got some kind of mentorship, and I've got mentors in different areas of my life. My friend
Yeah.
Ben Azadi, for example, is my mentor around health. I've got my beloved friend Chris. He's my mentor around relationships, and I've got another beautiful human called Laura Martin, who's my mentor around relationship also. Around wealth and abundance and entrepreneurship, I've got my mentor Greg Reed, Nick Nanton, David Nagel. I'm blessed to have some really amazing people that I can connect with and be coached and mentored by.
Wow, wow, wow. It's an amazing session, power packed, a lot of nuggets for
Thank
those
you,
who
sir.
are going to be watching the replay or listening to the podcast. I wanted to reach out to Dan as well. Dan is my good friend. To make this happen, we've had to make a lot of sacrifice.
So I'm going back and forth.
Yes, yeah, because Dan is, the different time zones, and his schedule is busy. My schedule is also busy, but we've been able to come together, and that's what leaders do. Leaders show up, irrespective of the challenges. We're
Exactly.
showing up together and talking to the topic leadership and excellence. And Dan has told us that you can't give what you don't have. The journey to excellence is not. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And we continue to work on ourselves and have milestones, set goals, dream big with your eyes open, like Dan said. For me, I'm just so excited about what is happening to me right now. It can only get better. I trust God for more collaborations. And that's my DNA. I collaborate. I don't show up alone. I collaborate. Yeah. And I'm also collaborating with Dan. And I just want to encourage us, those of us that might look at yourself and say, oh, I'm already there. No, even the scripture says it that, we should keep on pressing on. Apostle Paul says, I count myself not to have apprehended, I keep on pushing. It's either you're a movement or you're a monument, and I want to become a movement and take as many people as possible along with me. Um, Quite a number of my friends, I became an author, but quite a number of my friends have published their own books, and I find that I'm adding more value to quite a number of people. So whatever I learn, I want to teach others as well, and it makes you more excellent, doesn't it? You know,
Indeed.
yeah,
Indeed.
you
It
don't become,
reinforces it.
yeah, it reinforces it. You don't just become excellent on your own.
No.
You know, it's walking through people that makes you excellent. It is when you achieve things that you become excellent. So on this note, I just want you to say something in 30 seconds to our listeners as we end this session. Dan.
I just want to, first and foremost, great gratitude to you, sir. If any of my listeners are listening to this, be sure to tune in and subscribe to this channel and get some more wisdom from Adegoke. To all of the listeners, just take it one day at a time. Excellence is a marathon, not a sprint. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I can do today to move closer to excellence? And then go out and take some action and do it.
Wow, that's it. You've heard from Dan. Excellence is not a one-day thing. It's a continuous journey. And so on this note, I want to thank everyone that's joined us from all over the world and those that will be watching the replay and listening to the podcast. Stay safe and have a great and wonderful day. Thank you so much, Dan, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.